cruising around YouTube and found a fella named Myevoker, and he has kind of evoked me to go ahead and then do this video. I've had it in mind for a while, but you know I'm a procrastinator. What can I say? I have a very hard time finishing things that I start. But his topic was basically about MMOs and some people that play them who are kind of antisocial, and I do fall in this group. The, I wanted to kind of um, add to his chorus and tell him that he's not by himself in this regard. And the weird thing about it is that when I first started World of Warcraft, I wasn't like that at all. When I first started, I was I was a person who was eager to jump in there, eager to help, ready to rush into just about any battle. That's why I picked a warrior to begin with. Now, um, in the outside world, of course, I'm not I'm not social at all. I guess what it was that in the beginning, I'm I was of the mindset that this world would be filled with, well, for lack of a better word, outcasts. You know, misfits like me. Figured it would be a world where I wouldn't be much different than anybody else there, and so I could be more open there. And that illusion held up for at least most of the Burning Crusade. I think it I think it crashed down around about the end of it, right about where gear score was added, and Wrath of the Lich King had just begun. And I'm just one of those people that I don't know. I take I take criticism, but it's like if it's a bad criticism, it stays with me far longer than any good thing that you say to me. Alright, good stuff. I'll take it in. It's not like I'm ungrateful. Alright, it's not that I don't realize that you're being sincere, but I'll take it in and then it'll be gone the next instant. Um, Bad criticism stays with me. I don't know why that is. It's just a character flaw of mine. Alright? And to say that this happened right at the what now, about two two or three expansions ago? Yeah, three now because of Warlords of Draenor, and it still stays with me. And I was just in this dungeon. I forget the name of it. It's over there in near Shatra, um, the Archidon. It was the one with all the birdmen in it. I can't remember which one it was in. Alright, and I was we were clearing out this dungeon. We had pugged the dungeon, just me and about four other random people. This was before LFG, so you had to look for it yourself. And we found, we got about five people together, and we all did this dungeon together. Now the dungeon was pretty easy. I've been through it before. Alright. passing the bosses. The bosses went down, the mobs went down. So I didn't see what their complaint was. But anyway, at the end of it, where after we had just finished fighting, I think it was Tora, I started hearing, seeing these whispers. You know, not whispers. It's more like they were talking about me out loud, but not directed to me. Right? And they started talking about my gear. Up until this point, I never knew that gear score existed. I didn't know anything about recount. To me, I was like, if bosses go down, if mobs go down, I'm still of that mindset. If these things happen, then the group is fine. I could care less what your gear score is as long as the end result is good. But anyway, they started criticizing me about my gear. And at first it was just one guy. Then another fella piped in. And finally one other one. The healer was pretty much silent. He didn't say anything one way or another. And I was just watching these words, and I didn't know what to say, so I didn't say anything. And never did they direct anything at me. They were just talking about me. Just kind of weird. Weird thing to do in a dungeon. From that point on, you know, I didn't participate as much. Now I tried to make a good show of it. After I got through with the dungeon, I talked to a friend of mine. And I was like, "Is my equipment really that bad?" You know, kind of thing. And he gave me a string of stats that I was supposed to be looking for at this point in the game. Very good player, so I took what he said to heart. Um, he took me to Stormwind, taught me a good bit, showed me what a rotation for a warrior was supposed to be, that kind of thing. And I practiced on that practice dummy for weeks. For weeks. Um, Sometimes just doing that for hours on end and then logging on. So it wasn't like I was against getting better or anything like that. But I guess the seeds of doubt were planted in me. From that point on, I wasn't as gun ho as I was in the past. I didn't go out of my way to help anybody like I used to. I used to travel all over the doggone all over Azeroth, just helping random strangers, just helping people. If I saw that someone needed help with a dungeon, I was like one of the first ones to say, "Yeah, I can do that. I got you know, I got a warrior around your level, or you know, I got a paladin about where you are. Yeah, I can do that." And then I get on my paladin or whatever, and then help the poor guy, and then go on about my business. And most of my friends list was made like that. But it's kind of weird because it didn't start off this way. It just built up, and before long, I was finding myself backing out of things like people would invite you to a dungeon or to a raid, and before I was quick to jump in these things, but all of a sudden now I found myself making excuses practice that I've done, I'm pretty sure I'm much better